somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to another edition of the Local Show here on GrassRoots Community Network. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm Eric Scarvin, your host. As we work our way into the winter season, I've got Olympian, founder of the Chris Klug Foundation, and local top-rated realtor Chris Klug back on the show. Thanks for joining us, buddy. It's good to see you.
You bet. Happy Summit for Life Week.
Oh, my gosh. It's such an exciting week. It's basically, we call it the kickoff to winter.
It is.
And we've had such an amazing early season. I wanted to start with that because skinning up has been incredible. Sledding's been amazing. Ice skating at Maroon Lake. I mean, all this stuff's been going on. And I wanted to hear a couple. I know you've had some nice family time and vacation time, but local athletic highlights, early season with all this amazing snow. What are a couple things that come to mind?
I had a powder day on October 28th, a few days before Halloween.
Nice.
And I can't remember I just turned officially 50 last week.
Happy birthday.
I can't remember in my lifetime ever having full-on powder day where I didn't touch the bottom before Halloween.
That's amazing.
And as you just alluded to, it's only really built on that. Another, whatever it was, 8, 11 inches last night. And my back is getting fit from shoveling the driveway already, and it's
That's
not
pretty
even
athletic. That's pretty
Exactly.
athletic. Good upper body work in there. So you've gone up, you go up for a split board. Correct?
Usually up on my split board, and then if I do Power of 4 or Grand Traverse or something, I'll use a lightweight Dynafit setup.
Okay.
But usually I go early in the morning with the dog on my split board and then snowboard down with her.
And since you live at Snowmass, are you pretty much a Snowmass guy, or do you like to surf around all the 4 mountains? Or
Definitely surfing around. I do find myself with Summit for Life on Ajax much more early season.
Right.
And then usually with both my kids in AVSC, I find myself a lot of weekends doing bowl laps, either on my split board or just hiking, or if it's not epic up in the bowl, I'll just do laps on the bottom while they're doing their thing, have lunch with them and do a couple more laps and kind of train for Power of 4. But usually midweek, early mornings, I love dropping the kids off on the bus, and I'll get a lap in and then head to work. So.
Well, you mentioned the Highland Bowl. That's my home away from home. We got it right here, right behind me here as a tribute on the set. But I want to talk about Klug Bowl. There's a story from the book, To the Edge and Back, about Klug Bowl. And there's a little story throwing passes to your grandma. And can you tell us a little bit? It's not the Klug Bowl that people might think. Can you tell people a little bit about that childhood story?
It took me a second there when you referenced Highlands Bowl. I was like, well, where's he going with this?
It's a little different.
Well, there's a story as a kid that, I was really passionate about a few things as a kid. One was football, and a lifelong Broncos fan. Not easy this winter, but nor the Packers.
I know the feeling.
A little tough for both of our teams this year. But I was really passionate about football and skateboarding, which led to my entree into snowboarding.
Right.
But I just, I find my son doing the same thing now. He's just, any chance we get, he wants to kick the soccer ball or play catch with a football. And that's what I was doing to my parents all the time. And I couldn't get enough, and it was getting dark, and so I grabbed all the lamps from the house, like all the nice lamps in my mom's living room and the family room and the bedrooms and everything. And I got all the extension cords, and I created my own arena out in the front yard. And my mom came home and, just lost it. But
You're throwing passes to your nanny?
I was out there training under the lights with my grandma. She thought it was a good idea, so...
There was a great line, though, in the book, and people, again, can check it out. To the Edge and Back, Chris Klug's book. Was it Steve Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Jackson, who was a writer who assisted on this. And your grandma said, can you put more behind the ball?
A little more zip on it.
A little more zip on it, yeah. I mean, that's a tough grandma, too. So you got an athletic family there.
Yeah. I got to tell you, just a little side note, I had an exchange with Steve Jackson, who I co-wrote the book with. He's from Evergreen, and really neat guy. Has written a ton of amazing World War II books and some different biographies, and it was really a fun process to team up with him. But as a side note, he just overcame a little battle of his own. He was fighting cancer for the last few years and is now cancer-free, thank God, and doing great. But he's going to come here in February to a concert at Harris Hall. and was just reconnecting and letting me know he'll be here. And I just said, we don't get to see each other every day, but there's so much negative we can say about social media, and especially with young kids, myself now 9 and 11, all of the challenges in the social media environment. But I said to him, I'm really grateful that I get to follow you on Facebook. I don't get to see you all the time, but I felt like I've been a part of your life, and Missy and I and our family have been praying so hard for you, and it looks like it's working. You're doing great. And I said, I know it sucks, and it's been a long road for you, and it wasn't any fun and very scary at times, going through those travails and fighting disease and chemo and all that.
Wow.
And yet you made it through it, and what a gift that is.
Yeah.
As challenging as it was, what a gift it is. And you and I have talked about this so many times, but not to be cliche, but it just reminds you, what really matters in this world.
And life is so fragile and so precious. And, I think there's a lot of value, to be able to follow people, like you say, on social media, to encourage them, to support them.
100%.
To show them they're not, by themselves, even if it's a virtual way, it's still powerful.
Yeah.
And also sharing things like the importance of organ donorship, which we're going to talk about right after our first break. We're going to take a quick break, but life-saving organ donorship.
Yeah.
There's over 105,000 Americans on wait lists for organs, and we're going to help them out this week and every week, with the Chris Klug Foundation. But we do want to take our only break of the show, guys. I want to thank my winter underwriters for making shows like Chris, our last guest, Gretchen Bleiler, another fellow Olympian, possible. We've got the City of Aspen, Haiti Children, Klug Properties, Aspen Square, White River Overland, Sundog Athletics, and the Pitkin County Solid Waste Center, and the City of Aspen. Did I mention them first? Yeah, I think I did. Just still getting those down here from memory, guys. I don't have a teleprompter there. We're taking our only break of the show. We'll be back in a couple minutes with Olympic bronze medalist Chris Klug, a little tribute to the Olympics right up here from Salt Lake City. So you guys don't go away. We've got a lot more coming up.
Donate, shop, and save. The Mother Lode Mercantile, now open at the Pitkin County Landfill.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
White River Overland in Aspen specializes in camper van upfitting, catering to mountain dwellers and outdoor enthusiasts. WRO's builds are purpose-driven to facilitate and enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. More information at whiteriveroverland.com. Providing exceptional service for over 50 years, Aspen Square features studio and larger condominiums for nightly rental with an ideal downtown Aspen location. They offer fully equipped kitchens, wood-burning fireplaces, and private balconies with full hotel-style services and gracious hospitality. Aspen Square is proud to support the local show. The Red Brick Center for the Arts is Aspen's hub for creative activity, offering youth and adult art classes, community rooms for rent, artist studios, nonprofit offices, lectures, events, and rotating exhibitions with artwork for sale. Come by to connect and be inspired. Learn more at redbrickaspen.com. Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialist since 1996, is your opportunity to experience private, all-inclusive snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and fat biking instructional adventures that will immediately improve your safety, performance, and enjoyment. Like Sundog Athletics on Facebook for fresh updates or explore sundogathletics.com.
Support for the local show comes from the City of Aspen. The Castle Creek Bridge is nearing the end of its lifespan, and the city is proposing an entirely new bridge as a safe and resilient solution. You can learn more about the bridge construction, transportation options, and in-person and online public events at castlecreekbridge.com.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Hey guys, we're back with Olympic bronze medalist Chris Klug in alpine snowboarding. These are big, strong men, over 200 pounds, racing in gates like World Cup skiers. So I always try to explain the snowboarding because people always think like, hey, maybe it's like Shaun White dropping into the half pipe or whatever, which you did do.
Yes.
When you were younger, snowboarder, you guys kind of do everything.
Not to the same degree as Shaun White, but in the early years, you had one snowboard and you did everything.
Right, exactly.
And, that was really, really fun. Some of my favorite memories in the sport, showing up and all the freestylers would race and vice versa. And the overall was a prestigious title. And it was really, really a lot of fun.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, and it's interesting, too, and we don't have a lot of time for this, but the first kind of half pipes were almost like these ditches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was like, compared
We
to
would
now.
dig it. They'd hand out shovels, and effectively you'd dig the pipe and then judge each other. And it ended up kind of just being highways from one ramp to the next.
Okay.
And so you'd almost hit these jumps and do your trick.
Right.
And much, very different from the manicured, 22-foot
Insane.
pipe dragon cut X Games pipes that we see today.
Unbelievable.
But it was nonetheless, great memories.
So you raced on the World Cup for how many years in total? Was it
20 years on the World Cup.
Okay,
and,
20.
Got to do 3 Olympic Games and took me all over the world.
How many years had you raced before you started to be incapacitated with your liver disease? Were you in 17, 18 years?
I was on the
into
World
it
Cup.
at that point?
Yeah, I was on the World Cup. My first international World Cups were, when I was in high school. And so I was full-time on the World Cup at about 18, 19 years old. Okay. And then had my transplant about a decade later when I was 27 years old.
Can you tell people briefly about that? You had rare liver disease.
Yes. Yeah, a rare liver disease that's most likely caused by an autoimmune condition, PSC, that led to this scarring of the bile ducts, which often results in a very aggressive form of liver cancer. And fortunately, after about 6 years on transplant waiting list, I got that second chance. A 13-year-old boy in Denver, Billy Flood, died in a gunshot accident and saved my life and 3 others. And it was an incredible experience, much like I just shared with my friend Steve Jackson last night that you and I just talked about, that it was very scary, and that wait list is such a precarious place to be.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And you alluded to earlier, 105,000 people in our country waiting today across our country for solid organ transplants, and that was where I was 22 years ago. And as scary as that was, and I was on death's doorstep there for a while, to get a new lease on life and a second chance is, it's an amazing gift and an amazing perspective, and that's what CKF is all about. This is my life's mission, this foundation. All of my involvement, all of our amazing volunteer board is strictly volunteer, and I'm really proud. We've done it for almost 20 years. Next year will be 20 years. Our 17th Summit for Life this year. We've raised millions for organ donation awareness and done thousands of events all over the country. And really it boils down to 3 things our foundation is all about: registration, education, and inspiration. And it's really inspiring those people just like me 22 years ago when I received my second chance at life. When I was first diagnosed, I thought, well, this is a death sentence. And then I realized, no, maybe it's not a death sentence, but your quality of life isn't going to be very good. And so selfishly, I still love racing Leadville. I did my 12th Leadville this year, and I love doing Power of 4 and all these activities. And I've said this so many times to you that selfishly I love all those things, but it's also a neat message to be able to send that anything's possible after your transplant or after any major medical setback. So I'm very grateful for that chance to do what I love to do, but to also send a message to anyone going through the same thing that I did 20 plus years ago, that there's nothing I can't do after my transplant. I'm way healthier, I'm way stronger than I ever was before my transplant, and you can be too. Doesn't mean there won't be some bumps in the road, there aren't some responsibilities with this gift of life, but you can do it. And so often that's the only thing you need to hear. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, doesn't mean it won't be hard, doesn't mean that there won't be some setbacks, but it's possible.
Right.
You just need a ray of light when you're going through that.
And it was about 18 months after your transplant that you won the bronze medal, which really is, it is inspiring because you're talking about, you're showing people what is possible. Not only can you go on, you can attain amazing accomplishments at the highest levels, set your goals high, work towards those goals.
Absolutely.
Like you said, there's going to be setbacks, just like in life.
100%.
No matter what, you're always going to have these challenges, but working through them and look at what is possible. And Summit for Life is possible. We're going to be going up Aspen Mountain this Saturday night. And let's get a little bit of an overview of the event. Now, this year it's just Saturday night, correct?
Only Saturday
it's
night,
the uphill event. There's no Dine for Life restaurant event.
Yeah, we really
that happened in the
shifted
summer.
that. We shifted that to August this year.
Okay.
Because what we realized is that there's a huge contingent of our supporters and friends and donors that aren't here this time of year. And so we wanted to diversify a little bit and sort of change the event. We also realized that it was a real butt kicker for our team to put on 2 huge events in one weekend. And so this weekend is just focused on Saturday night and the uphill at 5:30. What I would say is that we're back. The last 2 years with COVID, we barely pulled it off. And thanks to our partners, Little No and Aspen Skiing Company and all of our sponsors and our amazing team with our director and our programming director, our executive director, they really improvised and shifted and figured it out where we were totally virtual 2 years ago. And then last year, it looked like we were going to be in the sun deck and have this huge party. And then Omicron exploded the week of our event. So it was like, okay, well, Little Nell, Matt, can you create a grab-and-go dinner, and we'll just go up the uphill, hand people their dinner, go down, and we'll do a virtual, award ceremony. So what I did love about this is, strange to say, but what I did love about COVID is just the creativity that it forced.
Right.
And for us, too, a small little nonprofit that's about a $400,000 a year annual budget, we totally figured out how to pull this event off and still survive during some challenging times. But what I would say this year is we're going to blow the roof off the sun deck. We're back. We've got Mark Patterson and his band back. They're going to be playing live. Awesome. Chef Matt is creating a great chili feast for us Saturday night. We've got awards, dancing, the whole deal. And we haven't had that in 3 years. So
it's going to be incredible.
Saturday night's going to go off. Our friend Scott McCracken's going to be doing the national anthem. We're going to start at 5:30. We have 250 registrants already.
No kidding.
And I think we'll hit 350, 400 come Saturday night. So that is
awesome.
It's going to be a great kickoff to winter.
So people can do the uphill itself, which starts at 5:30. Or they can do the Ride for Life.
Yes,
if they
and
just
that
want to
sounds really dangerous, but you're just riding a gondola.
You're not riding a fat bike up Aspen Mountain or anything.
No.
It's not that kind of a ride. But
Not
you
at
ride
all.
the gondola up, you get to have the dinner, the party, the live music. The energy is off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine most of these people hiking up the mountain, they get in the sun deck, there's live music, dinner. It is one of the most amazing vibes locally. And I've raced a lot of races. In fact, over 500 events. It's hard to believe, but I've been racing in Colorado for over 30 years. And then these are year-round endurance events like snowshoeing in the winter, bike racing, as you know, in the summer, because we both bike race. But that vibe at that event is unique. And it's a real community event, too. You see people you haven't seen for so long. Yeah. And now it's been a couple years, like you say, for this party. So how can people get involved? They... go through the website and find out more information.
Summitforlife.org. Everything's on there. If you want to sign up to volunteer, you can still do so. We have a couple spots to fill.
Cool.
If you want to race, it's not too late. You can sign up right up until Saturday. After Cyber Monday, the price went up $25 just because we've been trying to encourage people to sign up earlier so we know how much food and dessert and everything to order and T-shirts to order. But yes, there's still slots to race. And as you said, that's 5:30. On Saturday night. You can do the Ride for Life if you don't want to race, but you want to come up for the party and support other people. Or if you have somebody racing and you've got young kids or something, you can't pull it off, you can do the Ride for Life. That's $75 now. Or if you can't participate, you want to just make a donation, you're snowed in, you can absolutely do that.
Or you can do the virtual uphill.
You can.
Anywhere in the country.
Yep.
Do that similar,
3267.
Yeah. 3267 vertical feet.
Yes.
Wherever you are. And just
Exactly.
partake virtually, right?
I mean, there's only one Aspen and one Summit for Life. And so if you're in, the East Coast or wherever you are in the world and you want to participate, you want to run stadium stairs or, You want to run the stairs at the Sears Tower, you can improvise, you can do it on your treadmill, however you want. And that's obviously a different results and whatnot, but it's just a way to participate wherever you are in the world if this is something you want to be a part of.
There's something for everyone. And we've got a video from last year's event, 2021, which would have been the 16th annual Summit for Life. Let's learn a little bit more watching this clip.
All right, getting set? Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Welcome to the 16th annual GrassRoots Summit for Life, benefiting Chris Klug Foundation. 3, 2, 1.
Time to sprint! Give it everything you got!
Feeling great, man.
Did it in G, ladies and gentlemen, G!
Great cause. It's Chris Klug Foundation. Organ donation going to people that need organs. It's incredible.
All these people, Chris Klug Foundation, it's where it's at.
So super fun. This Saturday night, December 3rd, we're going to date that for the 17th annual Summit for Life. And what's the best part for you, Chris? I mean, you're the director of the foundation, basically, or president and CEO.
I'm the chairman. I'm the founder and
okay.
chairman.
And what's the best thing about Summit for Life Week for you?
I think the energy, first and foremost, this is an awareness event for us. And that's what this organization is all about, is encouraging people to have that conversation about organ donation, to document that donation decision, but to celebrate life and second chances. And so I think the awareness and the celebration of second chances and the gift of life, that's kind of what it's all about. And everybody that comes together Saturday night to support this cause and this mission, and like you said, just have a great time on Saturday night. So I think it's, in the end for me, it's the camaraderie, the friendships, the excitement of what's ahead this winter, but also everybody in that room really saying yes to CKF and organ donation, and this is something we support, is very humbling for our little organization, and I think really motivates our team, Anna, our programming director, and Jesse, our new executive director, and our whole board to continue doing what we do.
Must be incredibly heartwarming. I mean, no pun intended, but I mean, have a heart and all that, but to feel all that love, because it's really just, that's what it is. It's like people who are showing they're caring, that they're loving, that they actually care about other people's lives.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, that's got to be really like heartfelt for you. Like, I mean, I don't know if you feel that when you're up on the stage with the awards, or if there's any moment during the event that's really,
I'd say one of my
highlights
favorite
that,
moments,
or
and I think
the
one
Bounce Back Give Back Awards.
Yeah, that's very powerful too, and I think one of my favorite moments too is when I recognize the donor families, the recipients, and the support family members, and you'll see a lot of people stand up, and you're like, wow, this has had a huge impact, even in our Roaring Fork Valley, or in the small Upper Roaring Fork Valley in Pitkin County with 18,000 people. There's a lot of people touched by organ donation on both sides, the donor side and the recipient side. Right. And yeah, we have some amazing stories to tell. Our Bounce Back Give Back Award winners, our Michael Wells Inspirational Award winner. Yeah. It's going to be a neat show. I get to MC it, so I'm going to keep it real tight and moving along, which I know you're very good at. So I'll try to keep it entertaining and efficient. But there are some great stories to tell.
So what does the year ahead hold for you, buddy? Like in terms of goals, let's bounce this to your business. You have Klug Properties.
Yes.
And you are a top-rated realtor not only in the area but in the U.S. And maybe we could get a goal, for your business, and maybe a personal goal, regarding your family in the year ahead. A couple goals.
Well, I'm wearing a lot of hats right now.
Yeah, you
are. As we alluded to.
Good thing you have a big head.
I do have a big head. A 60. Don't tell anybody.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Don't tell anyone. Right now for me, it's my family is so important, and I realize how fleeting this time is with my kids.
Yeah.
They're 9 and 11, and it happened overnight.
It's flying.
So that's a huge priority for me, and Missy and I is raising them right and really cherishing that time with them. But as I said earlier, my life's mission is to eliminate the wait and ensure that everyone that needs a solid organ transplant can get one. And we've got our work cut out for us. We're still very relevant, this cause and this foundation. I hope we're out of business someday, because that means everybody that needs a transplant can get one. And maybe we're just in the inspiration-only business at that point. But that's a huge mission for me. And in everything that I do, that's a part of it. And that was sort of a commitment that I made to my donor and as a part of my faith and to my family. I said, hey, if I get through this thing, I'm going to figure out the best way to give back. And that's what, as I said, CKF and my involvement's all about.
Oh man, there's a couple of things I want to get into there. Well, let's go back. Let's just touch on this really quick though. I had mentioned you're a top-rated realtor. Not only
I didn't answer that part of the question. Sorry.
I want to get into that, and then I want to go into faith, because faith is such an important part of my life too. But maybe a top goal, like for the year ahead for, your real estate business.
Well, I think you always have a sales goal, but I found that that when I was competing, that if you really focus on the end result, if I just, I'd visualize myself having the perfect run and how I want to run that and all the technical aspects that we'd worked on in all of our training, like envision my outside hand down and good balance and early pressure and how you want to come off of the steep section. And you'd visualize that in your head. And I'd visualize myself crossing the finish line and having this great race, but never like on the podium or medals around your neck or holding up trophies, because then I found it made me nervous. I'd focus too much on the outcome and not the journey or the process, which I know sounds cliche, but there's a lot of truth to that. If you just take care of business and carve clean turns, you're going to have a great result in the end. And if you stand in the finish line and said, hey, I stuck to my game plan, to my training plan, I had a great race, I'm really proud of the performance, the results usually take care of themselves. Exactly. And I think the same thing in business. There's so many parallels. If we do a great job, if we always put the clients first, always put their needs first, it's never about me. You never get commissionitis. It's always about how can I best serve my clients' needs? Am I listening to them? Am I doing right by them? If you do that and you do a great job, you work your ass off, you're always honest and you work hard and you really bring value to your clients, all the rest of it's going to take care of itself. You're going to sell, you're going to hit your sales goals. Right. But that has to be the priority. It has to be a service-oriented mind. Right. And you want to deliver this white glove fabled service. And if you do that, the sales volume goals are going to take care of themselves. Right. And it's the same thing in racing. If you take care of the fundamentals, if you take care of, hey, this is how I'm going to go out and compete today. I heard Michaela Schifrin say that the other day. And she just said, I'm going to put my foot on the gas. I'm going to go all out. If I ski out, that's okay. My only goal today is to ski as hard as I can and as fast as I can. It didn't work out for her in Killington the other day, but I really appreciated that mentality of just, hey, I'm going to put it all on the line. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to stick to my game plan. And if that works, great. If I ski out, so be it.
Yeah, you're really drilling down on those fundamentals, and if you do those things professionally, with honesty and integrity, and really put that client, it does sound a little cliche, but putting that client first, and they know it, right? They know
100%,
it by how you communicate, how you carry yourself, what you offer. This is what we do that's different than other people. Yeah. That's what I like to do with Sundog Athletics. Here's how we differentiate, and I'm always here for you. I rarely give out my mobile, but I even give them my cell phone number. But all those different things. And I wanted, with the last minute here, I wanted to talk about faith, because for me, that's the backstop. Mm-hmm. That's God is got my back, And can you talk about that importance in your life?
Well, it's a huge part of my life, and I don't think you go through an organ transplant and get a second chance at life and without faith. I just remember thinking that when the lights were about to go out, the anesthesia was about to take effect, and I remember thinking, I did everything I could to put myself in a position for a successful outcome here. I hope it works out. I hope I wake up, but it's in God's hands now. And that's always been a big part of my life, and he's not done yet.
The big guy covered you.
Yeah, he did.
Well, I've got you covered, pal. Not as well as the Lord, but these are pretty heavenly.
Are you trying to slow me down on Saturday night?
Exactly.
Jeez Louise.
It's all racing sabotage for my fellow competitor. Did you have fun on the show today, buddy?
Always have a good time. It's fun catching up with you. As you said earlier, we got to We get to catch up every time I come on the show, but we got to do it more often in between.
Yeah, well, let's maybe get in some uphill training at the last minute.
I'm cramming
week.
for the test
We'll
this
stay
week,
in touch
so
for that.
Whenever you want to go.
I appreciate
Thank you,
man.
Eric.
I really
Yeah.
do. For all
Appreciate
you do
all
for
your
our
support
community.
and excited to hike together Saturday night.
It's my honor. It's my pleasure. Thank you for what you do for our community and the
you.
transplant community. And thank you guys above all for watching this week on The Local Show.
Donate, shop, and save. The Mother Lode Mercantile, now open at the Pitkin County Landfill.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
White River Overland in Aspen specializes in camper van upfitting, catering to mountain dwellers and outdoor enthusiasts. WRO's builds are purpose-driven to facilitate and enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. More information at whiteriveroverland.com. Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialist since 1996, is your opportunity to experience private, all-inclusive snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and fat biking instructional adventures that will immediately improve your safety, performance, and enjoyment. Like Sundog Athletics on Facebook for fresh updates or explore sundogathletics.com.
Welcome to